Yo, 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 what is it? You already know what it is, man. This is your man, Levon, coming back one more again with your Wisdom on Wednesday, you dig? And today we're going to park right where we were last week in the book of John, 2nd chapter, you dig? But before we get into that, please remember to like, share this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell notification so you're always notified whenever I upload content, all right? So let's get into this real quick, you dig? All right, y'all. So in today's Wisdom on Wednesday, we're going to talk about hearing, receiving, and doing. You dig? 3 things. Hearing, receiving, and doing, right? And why is that key? Because before you can do something, you have to receive it, right? It's got to take root in your mind, in your heart, in your spirit, your soul. Before you can receive that thing unto you, you have to hear it, right? If you don't hear the instruction, how can it resonate with you? How can you come into agreement with it? And then how can you perform it? You can't, right? You got to hear it first. That's why those that have an ear to hear, let them hear. Second, once you hear it, it can't fall on deaf ears or, by the wayside. It's got to resonate within your spirit. It's got to resonate within your soul and your heart. So that's just a side note. If you hear something and it doesn't resonate with you, it's not for you. But anyway, when you hear it, it's got to resonate with you. It's got to mean something to you. It's got to take root within you, okay? Then when you receive it, now you can do it. You can execute. You can move. You're confident. You're settled that you know what you heard from the Lord and you received it. And so now you just got to move and execute. You dig? Okay, so just want to go real quick, give you an example of what I'm talking about when it comes to hearing, receiving, and doing, right? So in the book of John, the 2nd chapter, starting at the 5th verse, and we kind of went over this earlier, but I just want to touch back on it because I think it's important. John chapter 2, verse 5 says, "And his mother said unto the servants." Now, this is what she said to the servants. All right? Let me set a backdrop real quick. Jesus' mama was at a wedding. All right? And the Bible says that Jesus and the disciples were called to come to the wedding. So it was probably his mama that sent word, yo, go get my son, and they need to be here. And so Jesus probably said to the disciples, yo, if I got to go, y'all got to come on, we all rolling. So they went to the wedding, right? Just a backdrop. Okay. So Jesus' mother is already at the wedding. More than likely, and this is me ad-libbing now, more than likely she's helping. She's serving in some kind of capacity. She is, like most mothers do. She's running things. She's telling people to do this and do that, and she's trying to help out where she can to make things go smoothly for this wedding. You dig? So here comes Jesus to the wedding, and his disciples. They all roll up, his partners. And so they get to the wedding like, okay, what's popping? Everybody's there. Everybody's doing their thing, having a good time, right? And then it says, after, Jesus' mother came to him and said, yo, Jesus, we're out of wine. And Jesus looked at her and said, what they got to do with me? Right? But she knew who he was. She knew who her son was. She already had the inside scoop. She already knew to get down. So her faith wasn't wavering. Her confidence was an all-time high. She already knew. So he's like, what you mean? What they got to do with you? She didn't even respond. She didn't even give that no credence at all, right? It's like a mama. She didn't even respond to that. She turned to the servants at the wedding, not his partners, his disciples, because they were guests. She turned to the servants that were there and said, look, whatever he say, do it. Now, of course, the servant's going to listen to her because she's at the wedding. She's one of the people that's working and host, she's doing her thing at this wedding. She's one of the, older women. She's respected. They going to listen to what she had to say. She said, look, whatever he say, do it. And she bounced. She was out. Nothing else to be said after. Whatever he say, do. Whatever he says to you, do it. So what they do? They turn to Jesus. Okay, she said, whatever you say, do, right? Do it. So they were already open to receive. They were already in a place of obedience. Okay? They were in a place of obedience. That's key. Then it goes on to say, verse 6, and there were set there 6 water pots of stone, after the manner of the purifying of the Jews, containing 2 or 3 fireskins apiece. So in other words, they had these water pots that were set. They probably weren't like really, really big, right? They were probably about maybe, I would say like 10-gallon water pots. And they have fireskins in them, right? 2 or 3 fireskins in each pot, right? Because these were the pots, I believe, that they used to wash. When the Jews came in, they would take out the fireskins and they would wash their hands and their feet, right? So Jesus said unto them, to the workers, fill the pots with water, right? Fill them. So that means they had to, take the water and dump, the whole water out, whatever, and fill them with fresh water. They filled them to the brim, to the very edge. Filled. Not partially, not almost. They filled it. And they filled them to the brim. Verse 8. And he said unto them, draw out now. So I want to go back and look at verse 6. It says, and there were set there 6 water pots of stone, and the Jews, after the manner of the Jews, purifying of the Jews, containing 2 or 3 fireskins. And Jesus said unto them, fill the water pots. Okay, they were already in a posture of obedience, right? Just a side note, God can use whatever you have available to you. You don't have to go out and break yourself. You don't have to go begging nobody for nothing. God can use what is available to you to get the job done. You dig? They were already in a posture of obedience, so that's key. We have to be in a posture of obedience to receive from the Lord, to hear from the Lord, to receive from the Lord, and then to be able to move and do in his power. We have to be in a posture of obedience out the gate. Already. But check this out. Jesus said unto them, unto the servants, right? Fill the water pots with water. He gave them instructions, right? So the first thing Jesus said something, they had to hear it. They couldn't have did it if they didn't hear it. So when Jesus spoke, they heard it. Okay, they were already in an active obedience, and then that led them to where they could hear To them that have an ear, let them hear. So they heard what Jesus said to fill the water pots with water, right? After they heard what he said, they received it within themselves. Oh, yeah, that's not too hard. Oh, yeah, we can do that. We can make that happen. Let's make it happen, Captain. Let's get these water pots filled to the brim. We heard what he said because Jesus' mama said, do what he said. So we heard what he said. We can do that. We can make that happen. We're in agreement with that. That agrees with our spirit, with our inner man, with our soul. We're in agreement. We can do what we've heard. We're in agreement with it, right? We receive it. So after you have heard it and you've received it, now you have to execute. Now let's do what we have heard and received. So then they went and did it, right? After they did it, then they were given more instruction. He said to them, draw out now. Not draw out an hour from now. Not draw out tomorrow, next week, next month. Draw out now. So what they do? They didn't wait. Immediately start dipping it, start drawing out. Why? Because they were in a posture of obedience, right? They heard the word. They received the word. Now they're acting on the word. Now, as God said, draw out, they're drawing out. When? Now. Right? Now faith. Not tomorrow faith, yesterday faith. Now. They're drawing out now. Now see right there. Right there. Draw out and bear. That's where the blessing took place, y'all. The blessing took place right then. See, first they was in a position and a posture of obedience. Then they heard the word. Then they did what? They received it. Then they acted on it, right? And after they acted on it, I believe Jesus prayed. And when Jesus said, draw out, when? Not later, not when you feel like it, not when you get around to it, not next week, next month, next year. He said, draw out now. And I believe right then is when that water was turned into wine. When he said, draw out now. And they drew out in faith as they dipped in to draw out, right? As they dug in, as they dipped in, as they pressed in, as they pushed in, they was able to draw out. They was able to pull out. They was able to hold on to as it's coming out, the blessing. As they went into Christ, as they went in faith, as they went in with no doubt, as they went in confident, they was able to draw out the blessing. They was able to pull out the blessing. They was able to bear, as the scripture says, the blessing. But see, they had to go in order to draw out. They had to be in a position of obedience. They had to listen. They had to receive with faith and joy and gladness. And then they had to act on that thing. When they did that, the blessing came. And they was able to bear the blessing. You dig? And bear unto the governor of the feast. So I want you to draw it, take this out, and go take it to the man. I don't need you to do nothing else. Just hear the word, receive it, and then act on it. And when you act on it, watch the miracle take place. Watch what happens. So when we're in a posture of obedience and we hear what the word is saying, what God is saying to us, and then we receive it into our spirit, we're in agreement with that thing that we've heard, then we can move and we can operate and be in confidence and total trust in God, because we received, we're already in a position of obedience. We heard, we received, and now we're doing. and then watch God bless. Watch God be glorified. Watch the blessing come behind you hearing, you receiving, and you doing. Yo, this is your man, Levon. This has been Levon Says, your wisdom on Wednesday. Remember, please like this video, share this video, hit that bell notification so you're always notified upon future content. Subscribe to the channel, and remember Lamella E. Love, uplift, motivate, inspire, learn, laugh, encourage, and enlighten. LamellaE.com. This is your man, Levon. One love. Be blessed.